Let's see here. Let's not make this too loud. Alright. There he is. I want to put the chat up here. That's going to take a while. Let's see what I can do. これは運動じゃないか。これ。Okay. No, that's just two Katawa Shoujos. How about here? Oh, I hope that doesn't show anything important. Property? それ違いますよね。Okay. Oh, that's weird. Nope. Oh, okay. Oh no, what do I do? Hold on. How does someone mess up so bad? Not chroma key. Can I just hit delete? How do I stop this? Alright. Alright. No. Okay. Thank God. Alright, now what? Scroll. No. This, maybe? What's this do? I do not know what that does at all. You know, I think this is a struggle for another day. I'm just gonna get rid of all of that. That was... that was interesting. I have no idea how you did that. Yeah, neither do I. I have no idea what's going on. Alright. Hey, what's up everybody? Which at the moment appears to just be Ultrox, which is cool. That's what I about expected. I cannot edit Katawa Shoujo. I do not have the time. I do not have anything. It's a good game. I like the game. Nobody watches it. It's not worth the editing. So I think I'm just gonna stream my way to the end. Not in one session, but I just want to push through. So when we left off, I don't remember. I couldn't talk for the past I couldn't talk for the past 2 days because I was sick, and like all the coughing got so bad that I just couldn't talk. I just physically couldn't. And now that I just started getting better, I decided, hey, let's do some Katawa Shoujo. And I regret this decision immediately. So I have my water, I have my Chips Ahoy cookies, which you think you would want something more soft when you want to read a lot. So I guess cookies isn't the best idea. I think you may have the longest ongoing Katawa Shoujo series ever. I wish. Or rather, I don't wish. But I know a few longer ones. But let's just get into this. Oh god, Hanako's voice is gonna kill my voice. Okay. And then we're alone. It may be all I need to move this so I can hear myself talk. And then we're alone. It may be all well and good to leave Hanako and me alone to have some time together, but all it typically means is two of us sitting near each other in silence for a while. Right. I can't hold conversations with people. I wonder... That's why I'm so awkward with streams. I wonder what I must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone my own age acting this way around me makes me intensely self-aware. As if it's my fault that she's so troubled. She might get more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku. But then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel the same way I do now. I get the same reactions when people look at my face. Except, not the scarring part. Oh, I hate the scroll on the mouse. It's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing. But if she leaves, any effort she might try would get thrown back at her by the people who can't deal with her scarring. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much of a dinner after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously, glad that I brought up the topic for her. I catch Yuko's gaze, and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Okay, Yuko's voice I think I can do. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. A bit late for a coffee by now. Hanako? Oh god, I don't even know if I can even reach it. I cannot do Hanako's voice this time around. I'm gonna do it. I'll have the same. Oh, it came out. It worked. With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter, where she busies herself fishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives our food and drinks, before moving to a customer who's waited for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. Yeah, sounds about right. It tastes nice. No, that probably wasn't a good idea. You know, I'm the king of bad ideas. Like the whole Primus Prime 22 channel in general. It tastes nice, as does most of the food here. After having a few mouthfuls, I notice something's missing, namely the sound of Hanako's eating. Oh, looking back to her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patch of hair she keeps over the right side of her face still does its job in hiding it almost entirely. There we go. It's not that I don't like the food, I just don't like crust on my sandwich. Oh, God, that's terrible. People who don't like crust on their sandwich. What are you gonna do, cry about it? Ah, come on. It's like there's a brick wall in my throat right when I try to reach that pitch. It's either way too high or it just can't happen. It's not that. Aw, I was all ready to have your share too. Oh, he's Sal. You looked troubled. Is something wrong? Yeah, your face. Okay. Well, it's Hanako, so she probably will cry about it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who looks troubled, but on second thought, she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person, quite the opposite. We're friends, right? For friends? I don't know, Hisao. I really don't like you that much. From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks as though I've hit yet another landmine. Oh boy. This is another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barrier she puts up between herself and others, including me, and most likely even Lily. It's a shame that... I think that we are... I'm a little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer. All the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Yes. Sorry, Hanako. This whole time now, we don't really like you. We had that firework moment in this very cafe. We like the 1 out of 2 people that talk to you. Nah, we don't like you, Hanako. We're not friends. You're wrong. Oh boy. Am I wrong? Sorry, No, it's just hearing confirmation of that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said earlier, since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. I don't know how to relate with others. I find myself chuckling a little. It's surprising how much of a relief that was. I can feel my face smiling as I pick up my cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips. It's a prank. I like that. Ouch, that's hot. That's why. That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first. Oh, you sly! You just gonna let us burn? You just gonna let us burn Hanako like your face? Pranking Hanako, April Fools, 2K17. Darn right. I guess I'll wait then. The both of us share a little chuckle. The situation isn't really that funny, but for some reason, it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we were both a bit wound up about each other. I was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something wrong. It took her to remind me that I was uneasy as well. But be that as it may, it still feels a little nice to have someone think about me like that, in her own way. And then we got the shutter blinds transition. Following a long, quiet trudge up the hill and into the school grounds, the two of us find ourselves between the two dormitories. Regular night patrols pass between the male and female dormitory buildings, both for security and to quickly raise the alarm for any medical issues that may arise. The guard currently on duty notices us and gives us a quick nod as he continues on his way. A loud yawn escapes from Hanako's mouth before she has a chance to cover it. I have little doubt she's fairly tired by now. I better be off to my room then. See you tomorrow, Hanako. Good night. We separate and begin to walk our separate ways. Now my fan is squeaking. And I'm not turning off my fan because it's way too hot in here. Stop squeaking. Just gotta hit it a bit. Don't you start now. Did I read that? We separate and begin to walk our separate ways before I stop and look back. Hanako stands there, waving to me as she smiles. I smile and wave back to her, and after a few seconds, she turns and walks up the stairs to her dormitory building, disappearing through the door. These little moments we share between us feel like a small treasure. One thing is sure, I want to protect that small, delicate smile she so fleetingly wears around so few people. I wonder about these feelings I have when Hanako's around, and when I'm able to do things for her, whether they may be the seed for something beyond what we share now. It's almost like it's a dating sim or something. But what do I know? Women with disabilities would be the politically correct title. The summertime sun is something to be savored. Bull crap, Hisao. I hate the summer. I hate the sun. Sorry, I just had a little moment there. It's something to be savored, but when combined with the clean country air, it's all the better. I guess I like clean country air. My favorite weather is when it's overcast, when like the sky is all gray. You really can't pinpoint when a cloud begins or when a cloud ends. Maybe a little drizzle here and there. That's my favorite weather. Not this sun bullcrap. The summertime sun is something to be savored, but blah blah blah, I've said this already. The track and field club members are horsing around on the field ahead. Stop squeaking. Some are playing with a soccer ball. Others are talking, and a few laugh as two of them mock fight each other. None of them pay me any heed as I sit alone on the grass, underneath the shade of a particularly large tree. It's a nice and peaceful moment after a dreary day of schoolwork. Oh, that's a little Minecraft walking animation. Sound effects. Okay, Minecraft dude, stop walking. Primusprime 22 is a vampire. Probably. I might even sparkle. You are squeaking. How about I set you to a lower setting? Now you're squeaking louder. What is happening? Alright. Are they just gonna repeat this walking sound? I played soccer pretty often before my heart attack, so I had thought it would be really nostalgic to watch them. What I'm feeling now, though, is quite distinct from that emotion. Who are you? No, really, who are you? Hello, random student, who I've never seen before. I hear footsteps approaching from behind me, and I turn to my side to see one of my classmates taking a seat beside me. I'm taken off guard, as the two of us haven't talked much before, and I didn't think anyone would notice me here. What voice do I give her? I've already given the German voice, which I love to do, to the nurse. Maybe Russian? There's not much voices I can do now. I've already given the Batman voice. I've already given this voice. I've already given... What about a Yoda voice? I'm gonna give... You Puerto Rican. Okay. Sup? Hi. Mira, wasn't it? Just call me Miki. Surnames are too stuffy. By the way, my Puerto Rican accent, or impression, it sort of applies to any Spanish-speaking people. It isn't really specific to the Puerto Rican island. It's also racist. Likewise, then. We both look back out to the field, where the guys are playing. It looks like they're getting ready to have a second game, with people spreading out to their positions, and the ball being carried to the center of the field. Sure enough, the whistle is blown to begin the match, and they get right back into it. Not going to play? Nah, I say, just gonna rest for a bit. What about you? You look kinda Oh, sorry, I say, no hablo inglés. You kinda looked like you wanted to play when you were watching us before. So someone did notice me after all. It's kind of a long story. Her face says that I've piqued her interest. I'm in Yamaku because I've got a heart condition. I can't really play soccer anymore. So you can't tell... Has he told Hanako about his heart condition? I don't remember if he has. He might have. I don't remember. I've been playing this one route for over a year now, so I don't remember anything that's happening. Wanted to be a soccer player, did you? No, I feel so bad doing that voice. No, I only really did it for fun. My friends played it, so I played it as well. Any of those guys playing around could have been my friend, could have been me before my accident, but I don't feel like I have any real wish to go back to that either. It's a little hard to explain. Oh hey, Lay's just started joining. Shut up, fan! Sometimes you just gotta beat him because you love him, you know? It's alright, you can blame me. I'm still decently physically built from the days. Primus hates his fans. Wow. Yeah, true. I'm still decently physically built from the days when I played, even if my strengths largely left me by now, and I got on well with the other club members. When I think about it, I should feel pretty bad watching people play when I can't anymore, yet I don't. Maybe it's a good thing, a sign that I've gone over it and that I'm ready to become a new person. Shut up, fan, and then assaults it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling. It's cool, I say. I'm actually glad to hear that. It sounds like you really have your stuff together. Some of the people that come to Yamaku are pretty messed up at first, I say. When in doubt, smack, do I have any censorship on? I don't think I have any words. Is that just asterisks? So you're a member of the track and field club then? Yep. I mean, CSA, been in it since I first arrived from the boat from Puerto Rico. Don't suppose you're friends with Emmy? Short, fast runner, no legs, potential lolly. I don't think there are all that many female track and field members. Emmy. Everyone knows about that señorita, don't they? Oh, I'll censor myself. But nah, I tend to get on better with with the niños. So me and Emmy don't really talk much. Anyway, what about you? Well, I'm not really in any clubs. Real clubs, anyway. You've been hanging around with Hanako and that blonde Amazon, though, right? That's blonde Amazon. I suppose Lily has the height to fit that description, if nothing else. I nod in response, without making too fine a point of things. So don't worry about it. As long as you've got some friends, you don't need to join a club. S.A. A loud whistling from the field. I live and die by saying that. Amen. Nice. A loud whistling from the field attracts our attention. One of the players on the ground is clutching his leg, and the others stop play to jog up to him, leaving Mickey grimacing. The Puerto Rican is slipping into a movie Nazi accent. My German accent's much more better. Because I speak enough German to know how it's pronounced, and know how an accent works in English. Ouch, that looks painful. That guy really has bad luck. I mean, that chico really has bad luck. That muchacho. Okay. As she continues to look out onto the field, I can't help but being reminded of her own injuries. Her left arm, ending in a stump rather than a hand, has been bandaged up for the entire time I've been in Yamaku, and her injury doesn't seem that new. Okay, so if you can go to Yamaku just for not having a hand, like there are people at my university that only have one hand. I don't think it's that debilitating, or debilitating? I don't know. I guess it's also easy for me to say when I have two hands, but you know. You think Primus would read any chat message aloud before reading it? Nazi slut. Do I really have things censored? I didn't think I did. Is there settings I can change that? I don't think I have anything set to where it's censored. I don't know. What's with all the... Okay, now I'm just gonna go mad. Go insane. She turns to talk to me again and... Alright. She turns to talk to me again and catches me looking. Both of us sit in awkward silence as she takes her bandaged arm and holds it in her lap with other remaining hand. Sorry, I guess I'm still a bit... It's fine, really. Her tone is light, but neither of us say anything afterwards. Every disabled student here has their own way of dealing with their problems, and some finding their conditions troublesome is only natural. I'm included among them, after all. The injured guy from the soccer game manages to get onto his feet with some help, and ends up hobbling off the field with one arm over the shoulder of another for support. Probably just pulled a muscle if he can still manage to walk. The whistle blows again and the game continues once more, with one less man on the field. Hanging out with Hanako and that blonde girl, you keep some pretty strange company. How so? It's just that Hanako's kind of, I don't know, shy? No, it's not really that. It's just, she's got some issues, I think. I can't really put it in a nice way. She once killed a deer, and not with like a gun or anything. This is Japan, we don't have guns. I'm a Puerto Rican Japanese woman. No, she killed it with a knife. She did it in front of the school too. Not that I don't think she's a nice person though. She's perfectly nice. Just hard to deal with. It sounds like Miki, or oh crap. It sounds like Miki, or at least some other people in the class, have tried to get closer to Hanako in the past, and that it didn't go well. I think her judgment is rather harsh, given that everyone, not just those in Yamaku, have their own issues. Then again, I haven't known Hanako for that long, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was some stuff I didn't know about. Like killing a deer in front of the school with a knife. I'll just take it as it comes. She's a nice person, and I think that should be all that matters. Yeah, you gotta stand up for the waifu, Sal. Miki's eyes narrow a bit, and her smile spreads. You really like her, don't you? Miki certainly doesn't mince words. Oh, do we admit it or do we deny it? I think, frankly, if I was in the situation, I would deny it. But we want to get the right ending. Let's do an emergency save just in case. Create new save state. Continue. Not quit. Return. Let's admit it. To complete... Well, to be completely honest, yeah, I do. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell anyone. Hey, well, you can trust me. No problems here. Puerto Ricans, integrity. You know, that's the saying. To be honest, I think it's kind of cute. If you want to go for it, don't let me stop you. Thanks. She may say that, but she was just talking about Hanako having issues. Yeah, that's true. Still, I want to hold myself to the words I said. Hanako's problems don't matter. I'll deal with anything that comes up because I want because I want to help her. If there's even the smallest possibility that I can pull Hanako out of her depression, out of her clinical depression and seclusion, then I should work towards that no matter what. If she needs a prince, then I will be that prince. Okay. As I think about the possibility of a relationship, I can see Miki grinning at me while watching my face. I'm no doubt blushing, and looking away from her only makes her laugh. Miki gives off a different vibe from the other girls. Talking to her feels more like talking to a guy than a woman. Her saying she prefers male company doesn't help to dispel that notion either. Glancing at my watch shows that lunch break is ending in only a few minutes. Time to start heading... Oh boy. It's time to start heading back to class. Lunch is about to end. Want to head back? Yeah, we'd better, senor. I pick myself up off the grass and dust myself off, offering a hand to Miki to help her up as well. She takes it and easily pulls herself up, showing the muscles moving in her toned, bare arms in the process. Come to think of it, why aren't you wearing the normal girl's blouse? Is she not? It's too hot and constricting. The boys' uniform is better anyway. She throws her arms around a bit to emphasize her point. Yeah, I get Yamaku doesn't have a tie for the female uniform, does it? She throws her arms around a bit to emphasize her point, which has the side effect of showing off one particular part of her body that would be especially constricted by the blouse. Okay. And like that, we were off. The two of us start the walk back to the main building through the gardens, talking as we go. It sounds like you're settling in well. That's a relief. It was pretty surprising to get a transfer student at this point in the year, considering the exams are coming up. Don't remind me. Ah, man, I hate exams. When do I have exams? In a few months. Like 2 months. It's April 1st. Don't worry about them. Just cram it and you'll be fine. That doesn't sound like good advice. She claps my or you can back me and just don't study at all and just go into them blind. She claps my shoulder a couple times as she grins. I don't think she takes school very seriously. You seem like a smart guy, and Muto's taken to you well already. You're like a hand in a glove. Now to work out whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I still don't know what to make of this school. I've been here a few weeks already, but I still feel dazed at times. You'll get used to it. Just give it some time. It's only a high school, just like any other. She makes it sound so simple, but I've never thought about it that way. To me, Yamaku symbolized a marked shift in my life. I was no longer normal. I was different, and was to be educated with other different people. And yet, I'm walking back to class, talking casually with a classmate during lunch. After watching some others play a soccer game, all perfectly normal. Maybe she has a point. By the way, one of my education classes this semester is special education, in which we learn how to teach disabled students, both physically and mentally. And all I can think about it during this entire semester is Katawa Shoujo. We're talking about like sign language on Thursday, and all I could think about was Shizune because of the sign language thing. Games, man. Maybe I should just look at Hanako in the same way. Everyone has their own issues. This is hardly something unique to Yamaku. After all, it's only high school, just like any other. As we continue to talk, I find myself smiling. Miki and I are very different people in almost every way, but it feels good to have gotten to know another classmate a bit better. Darkness. Katawa Shoujo. A light breeze blows the scent of early summer around my head while I wait for Lily. Small white clouds litter the sky, breaking up the monotony of the blues. And Miki was never heard from again. Yeah. She was found dead the next week. Hisao? I'm gonna have to mute my mic for a second. Well, okay. Hisao, are you here? Lily's voice, lilts? Is that a word? Lilts on the breeze as if they were one and the same thing. I stopped gazing into the sky to examine Lily. With a peach off the shoulder sweater and tan ankle-length skirt, in addition to tan sandals, she's quite a nice sight. But it's ironic because she can't see. Primus is actually yelling racial slurs while yeah. Yeah, I'm over here, Lily, near the gate. Were you able to sneak away from Hanako? Yes, it's not uncommon for me to go out during weekends, so I don't think she noticed anything suspicious. Mike wasn't meaning at all, Primus, you're exposed, yeah. That, and she has someone she sees. Unlike me, who can't see. I have way too much fun with this. Lily purses her lips as if she maybe shouldn't have continued. I find it a little hard to believe. Hanako's seeing someone? Really? No, it's just she sees a therapist every so often on weekends. But I like to call therapists the rapists. Never heard that one before, right? Oh well, that does make a lot of sense. Or, oh, well, that does make a lot of sense. I have to put that spacing. Lily rubs her arm uncomfortably. And after one look at her troubled expression, I quickly move to change the topic, away from Hanako. Huh. Yes? Huh. Yes? Yes? There we go. I was just wondering, you can't get around the city on your own? Lily sighs at my consternation surrounding the topic of her blindness. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. By the way, you still can't see and crap, right? I can, yes. It's easier when I'm out with a friend or my sister, though. I wonder how Lily gets along with her sister. Being an only child, it's hard to imagine what having a sibling would be like, so it makes me a little envious of her. April Fool's jokes just don't stop coming even when it's nearly over. Right, well then, the bus arrives in a few minutes, so we should probably get a move on. Indeed, it's a long wait if we miss this one. With that, we set off for the bus stop on the hill. It's only a small distance from the school gate, so it's very convenient. It's a nice view from here. Coming from the city, I never really got to see scenery like this, let alone on a daily basis. That scenery is a bit more mountainous than where I live, but I mean the greenery fits. Why do they have red? It looks like fallish in this picture, but it's supposed to be summer. Because you got a little bit of the red. I don't know. This area is nice for me as well. It's tranquil and away from the noises and smells of the city. Lily's head perks up in a trademark gesture of hers, signifying that she's caught a sound. Oh, here comes the bus. I look down the road to see the bus trundling up the... Trundling? Learning so many new words today. Trundling up the hill. Her hearing's quite a useful tool. The bus only takes a short while to reach the bus stop, forcing its way up the road, and within a minute we are on our way to the city. To the big city! Whoa, don't know where that came from. Walking around the city, I feel a distinct... Oh, that's loud, isn't it? Oh, no. Volume's down. Walking around the city, I feel a distinct nostalgia. The smells, the traffic, the tall buildings everywhere. It looks a lot like my native city, save for the raised walkways. It feels a little weird walking around the city as casually as I would in the park, but with cars rushing around and rushing around underneath me. Okay. As I'm busily pondering the engineering marvel that is the raised walkway, I get a surprise. It takes a moment for me to realize that Lily has wrapped her arm around mine, extending her cane in front with the other hand. For a moment I'm startled, but I managed... Oh god, this is loud. But I managed to keep enough of a lid on it for Lily not to notice. Well, it's not the first time that Lily's relied on me for guidance. She'd only held onto my sleeve's cuff before. It's logical that it would be easier for her to navigate a crowded and complex area such as the city while securely linked, but I'm far from being as used to this kind of contact as Lily is. Finally realizing that the growing silence between us as Lily waits for me to get moving, I quickly kick my brain to gear. I probably messed up that line somewhere. You know, it was quite a surprise that Hanako likes to sing. Have you ever heard her do that before? I have indeed. We've been to karaoke sessions several times, along with my sister. I can't say I take to the activity much, but the other two like it. I wonder how she reads the lyrics on the screen. Shouldn't she blind? Get it? Because blind? Maybe Hanako doing karaoke is more fitting than I initially thought. Just her and those she knows, all alone in a little room. Is the sound over? Nope, still loud. It would give her a rare chance to let her guard down, with nobody else there to judge her. Maybe it would be nice to bring her into town for a karaoke birthday party if she likes doing it. I'm not sure she would deal very well with the excitement. I move to protest, but her face shows that she's mulling the proposal over some more. It takes quite some time for her to come to a conclusion. Then again, the best thing we can do for Hanako at this point is to try to create some pleasant birthday memories. Continually treating her as if she's abnormal won't help. Oh yeah, I gotcha. I think you're right. If she has something to remember apart from loss, then maybe she'll come around. If we bought her something nice that she could see every day, then maybe she'd be able to take her mind off her past and remember that she has friends. And in any case, I think Hanako can handle something. Oh, I bet she isn't as great at karaoke. Oh boy. In the time I've spent beside her, I've learned that she isn't quite as frightfully fragile as I thought she was. So shall we be off? I'm not really sure about the layout of this area. Very well, I might like to suggest having something to eat first. I haven't either, so that sounds like a good plan. Make sure you choose a nice place, Hisao. She gives a teasing smile, one that makes me smile reflexively in response, even if she can't see that. She can't see that. I'll make very sure I do. Don't worry about that. I'll make very sure I do. Don't worry about that. I'll pick something so great you wouldn't believe your eyes. Once inside is the... Alright. Headphones back on. Once inside, I order 2 slices of pie and accompanying cups of tea and take them back to our table. I'd peg this cafe as the type to appeal to Lily, small and quiet, but well kept and somewhat upscale. Going by the dainty smile she wears, I don't really know if I chose right. It's very, very rare to not see her smiling after all. Nevertheless, I take a seat near her at one of the corner tables and lay down our small meals. Lily gingerly brings her head over the slice of pie Why can't I read? Lily gingerly brings her head over to the slice of pie placed in front of her, delicately taking in the aroma. Lemon pie, is it? Thank you, Hisao. No problem. The tea is just next to it, so be careful not to knock it over. She nods appreciatively, but judging from the slightly weak smile she has, the warning wasn't really necessary. I suppose the sound must have tipped her off to its position. You try, Hisao. Make sure to use these jokes on special ed kids when you teach. Oh, I wish I could do that and not get fired. We both King of April Fools. We both tuck into our food without... Tuck into our food, is that a saying? Okay. We both tuck into our food without further ado, both of us remaining largely silent as we do so. Lily isn't the type to appreciate discussion while eating, and I can't say I like it either. Eventually, we finish both our meals, and the last of our teacups follows in short order. Lily is the first to break the silence. That was very nice. I must say you've chosen quite well, Hisao. This is the first time I've really had much of a look around the city, so all I could really do is choose somewhere that looked nice. Dang, sorry. Did I misread something? You need to get tenure first, yeah. I really feel bad for inadvertently bringing up the... Oh! Did you... This is the first time I really had much look around the city, so I could really... Oh, okay. It really has somewhere that looked nice. Alright. I feel really bad for inadvertently bringing up the subject of sight around Lily, but she doesn't appear to mind much. Yeah, Hisao, I think she's dealt with... She knows she can't see, and she knows the rest of the world can, Hisao. When you got maybe 8 years ago. Wow. Yep. Quite the opposite. She almost looks amused by my awkward attempt at an apology. You are thoughtful, Hisao, but sometimes I fear that it gets the better of you. There is no need to change your speech on my account. Lily truly is pretty comfortable in dealing with her condition. I still hasten to change the subject, as I can't really say that I share her confidence in the matter. LMAO, that one went right over your head. Yep. Yeah. Have you lived here for very long? It seems like you have this place pretty much sorted out. She quickly waves her hand in front of her face to dismiss the notion. It's nothing like that. I've attended Yamaku since the start of high school, but I didn't walk around the city very much because Akira, my sister, picked me up and dropped me off. Oh, right. You mentioned not living in the dormitories until recently. It's quite a surprise. I just assumed she'd been living here since entering Yamaku at the least, which would give her a few years here. I've lived with my family for most of my life. Then I was just together with my sister. With my family having moved to Inverness long before and Akira working longer hours, I ended up having to move. Inverness? Is that somewhere in Scotland? Oh, did I not tell you? My family currently lives in Scotland, the birthplace of my mother. My father's side is mainly Japanese, though. Huh, the question of what gave Lily her looks did cross my mind every now and again. But I never thought to ask. That answers that question, then. That doesn't happen in Japan. You don't just see a naturally blonde-haired, blue-eyed person who speaks fine Japanese and just say, never really wondered why that happened. Apparently half Scottish. That doesn't happen. To be honest, I'd never have guessed. Considering you have no accent, I'm guessing you were born here? Full marks. I am thankful for my heritage, though, as without it, I'd likely not have been taught English so early in my life. And what of you, Hisao? What about me? She gives a moment's thought. She probably should have thought of what to ask me before switching the topic. I'll go with, what are your plans for the future? To be honest, I haven't thought much about that recently. After my accident and subsequent months in the hospital, enjoying my life here with you and Hanako have been enough for me. In fact, I don't think I've thought at all about a future for some time now. Seems almost futile. Oh boy, Hisao. This is your last year of school. After this, you'll have to fend for yourself one way or another. It's not like I don't know that. I just haven't put much thought into it since then. She opens her mouth to continue, but gives a small sigh instead. She seems to have realized that she really doesn't know enough about my situation to go too deeply into this. Well, we all have our own place. I just hope you'll take any chance you'll see. I understand. I'll think about it. And blindfold transition. And we're back to the city. Okay. As we walk back out into the city, Lily takes hold of my arm once again. So, did you get any good ideas for a present? To be honest, no. I've never been very good at picking them. As absurd as it sounds, perhaps we should just look around? After hearing Lily utter those words, Where did I get after from? Hearing Lily utter those words throws me for a moment. Right. How do we do that? That's just the reaction I was expecting. It's simple. You can go window shopping and just tell me what is around. If something interesting comes up, then we might get an idea. Right. I'm still not so sure of this, but I'll take your word for it. I think we'll manage. Hanako, my sister, and I managed to do it well enough. With Lily's simplistic and rather optimistic statement, we set off into the shopping district of the city, and I start describing everything I see to Lily. It's hard to think of Hanako going window shopping. She doesn't feel like the type to place much stock in fashion, nor have I noticed her reading magazines or the like. In fact, all I think I've really seen her do as a hobby is read books. So, sounds about right. That sounds good. There's a housewares shop just ahead. Looks like it's mostly crockery, though. Crockery? What's crockery? I can't think that she'd have much of a need for that. And what type of message would that send to her? Cook more food? That's not such a bad idea. Maybe. Sometimes it's best to leave these things alone, Isao. Once again, I get the feeling that Hanako's exploits in the kitchen aren't always successful. Lily must have had to help her with that sometimes. Let's see. Next along is a bookshop. That seems like a good one. She's always reading. Yes, but there are a few problems with books. I'm not quite sure what she has and hasn't read. Yeah, sounds about right. What about a gift card then? There's nothing as impersonal as giving someone a gift card. It's like saying, I don't know enough about you to work out what you'd like. I always thought of it as making sure they got what they wanted. Giving people gifts is supposed to show them the level of affection you have for them. If you can't decide on a simple gift for them, then how much could you think of them? Now, I don't like gift cards, but money, on the other hand, just cash, that you can spend on anything besides, limited to gift cards. I'm fine with that. Right, no gift cards. Lily seems overly passionate about this, but I can see her point. If you're going to get something for someone, then you should put at least some thought into it. If you want to get, should probably keep Hanako away from anything that causes fire, like an oven. Yep, might go all Sims 3 on us. If I want to get something for Hanako that reminds her of us every day, then what good is a gift card? In that case, what did you get Hanako last year? A porcelain doll. I thought that if she had someone to talk to, it might help her ease her pain. Talk to a doll. Lele's boy is now auto-hosting you. Oh, cool. What does auto-hosting mean? I don't know enough. I don't know anything about Twitch. A doll isn't ever going to criticize her after all. This is why I have all those Transformers back there. They don't criticize me. So should I be looking for a doll shop? If you could be so kind to keep a lookout for one, I would be grateful. Sounds good to me, though I wish you'd mentioned it earlier. Is this still city? Yeah, it's still city. But if I did that, then you wouldn't have started thinking for yourself, would you? That's true. Once again, Lily has a point. My brain is currently analyzing every store we pass for gift options. If Lily had mentioned a doll shop to begin with, I wouldn't have thought of anything else. Yep. Is it still? Yep. We wander through the city streets, but seem unable to find anything that resembles a doll shop, or anything that I can take two, or anything. It means my ones of followers say you are streaming. Nice. We wander through the city streets, but seem unable to find anything that resembles a doll shop, or anything that I could consider a fitting present. The simple act of searching is starting to clear my head. The events of last week are starting to fade away, and I'm looking forward to giving Hanako her gift. If I can find one, that is. I'm trying to think. I didn't really have too much problems getting gifts for people I've dated. That's always been my strong point. I always give good gifts. At least I think I did. Doesn't everyone think they do, though? This is hopeless. I thought we'd be able to find something in the city for sure, and I'm sure we've walked down this street at least once before. That almost sounds like you're giving up, Hisao. I'm not, but it's a lot harder than I thought. Try not to be so restricted in your thinking. Maybe we should actually go into some shops and have a look around? That might work. I've never gone window shopping, as in walking around a city looking at windows. It's always been inside a shop or a mall. That might work. I've never really been any good at window shopping. Lily and I circle around the city streets once more, this time popping into stores that catch our attention. In the end, though, nothing comes up as especially appropriate. Hanako's tastes are often quite hard to pin down at the best of times, thanks to her intensely private nature, and those tastes we do know are hard to accommodate. May we take a break for a minute? I'm a bit exhausted. And so she fades out of existence. I agree and leave Lily to rest against railing, while I go to get a couple of drinks from a nearby vending machine. After walking up to the vending machine and grabbing myself some lemonade, I find myself at a bit of a loss. Not really knowing Lily's taste, I decide to take a guess and grab something that seems a little girly, not too weird, strawberry-flavored milk. Why don't you get the strong Scots? What do Scots people drink? Beer or something like that. Mead. I don't think they have mead in a vending. They would have beer, but not mead. Back. I walk up to her and place the carton into her outstretched hands, making sure she has a grip on it before letting go. She feels out its contours before opening it, and taking a very tentative sip, her approving smile afterwards telling me I have made the right choice. We both rest and have a quiet drink for a few minutes. A familiar soft ringing begins to sound from Lily's side. She quickly apologizes as her hand goes into her pocket, pulling out her mobile phone. Whiskey. Do you mind if I take this? No, you can't take a cell phone here. Yeah, sure. It's fine, don't worry. She not... Does it... I guess she can't tell, like, with caller ID who's calling. That sucks. She nods to me and thanks before turning away and flipping the phone open, bringing it to the side of her face as she picks up the call. Going by the tone of Lily's voice, the person on the other end is no doubt some friend or another. I tune out their conversation pretty quickly as the snippets that Lily says makes it sound a little more than gossip. Without much else to do, I find myself watching Lily. She really is a pretty girl, which would hardly hurt her popularity in school. It's interesting just how much Hanako and Lily contrast with each other, in both personality and appearance. Wait, you say Lily's pretty, and then say that Lily and Hanako contrast with each other in personality and appearance. Hisao, they only... If you have more than one... What's the rhyme? You have more than one waifu, then you have no laifu. You gotta calm down, Hisao. You've seen School Days. For a few minutes, I just lean back and drink, watching her. Before long, Lily says her goodbyes to the person she's talking to and hangs up, placing her phone back in her pocket and leaning back against the railings as before. Sorry, just a friend from class. I take one final swig from my can before throwing it into the bin. Lily gives me her carton to throw away soon after, finishing it off relatively quickly. You seem to have a lot of friends. Oh? Lily waits for me to continue, her interest piqued. I was just thinking that you and Hanako contrast really heavily. It's hard to imagine Hanako doing a lot of the things you do, or knowing the people you know. You seem to think about Hanako quite a bit. I don't know, it's just... She's mysterious, I guess. I kind of want to know more about her, which isn't that easy. It almost sounds as if you're doubting your relationship to her. I don't think it's that. I just want to do more for her. Being her friend and all, I don't even really know how she sees me. This statement seems to interest Lily quite a bit. I wonder if Hanako said anything about me to Lily during their conversations. I'm about to ask what's on her mind as she picks herself up from the railing. Shall we be off, then? Her voice and expression show that she's playing games with me. Lily knows darn well that she's leaving me hanging. Ah, man. With a sigh, I pick myself up off the railing as well and have a brief look around. We have stuff to do, so I'll just try to get back to her about this later. Tucked between a newsstand and a convenience store in a small shop, the sign above the door reads, Othello's Antiques in decorative English script. Oh, Ultrox MGA is now hosting you for up to 1 viewers. Ah, nice. Cool. It would be easy to miss if we were walking along the street, but since we're stationary and I'm purposefully looking around, it's just noticeable. Say, Lily, that doll you got, Hanako, was it new? Well, yes, but I'm not quite sure I know what you mean. I think I found our shop. It's across the road. Oh, what is it? Some kind of toy shop? It's an antique shop. I think it's probably going to be our best bet. Really? I didn't even know we had one of those near here. Neither did I. I missed it the first time we went by here. It's pretty well hidden. It's like that chamber from Harry Potter of I forget what it's called. Necessity? Requirement? The one where you have to walk or buy it a couple times and think about what you want. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Well then, it can't hurt to check. Inspired by this new find, we quickly dust ourselves off and head towards the store, Lily's hand finding its way to my elbow for guidance. Okay, the city sound should be over by now. Hopefully. Yep. The store has a strange, musky scent to it. The layout is more like a garage than a store. Things are strewn around the floor without any immediate semblance of order. Oh boy. I'll have to give him an old voice, and that's going to strain my voice. The shopkeeper gives us an almost bored look through his particularly small eyes. His face looks weary and tired, and his dress style is distinctly anachronistic. He gives us a polite nod of welcome before going back to his book. Oh, thankfully he doesn't talk. Okay, that's good. False alarm. Lily holds tightly onto my arm, and I find myself having to split my efforts between making sure we don't miss a potential gift for Hanako and making sure Lily doesn't inadvertently bump into anything and causes everything to fall over and just shatter. The task is quite difficult given the haphazard way the store is laid out. The many things poking out of the shelves thereon are sitting on pieces of furniture, but eventually we safely arrive at an old desk covered in dolls and teddy bears. Reminds me of Cracker Barrel. I love Cracker Barrels here. Everything's so tightly packed and they're all like things. I broke a magnet once at Cracker Barrel. I think it was like God or something. It was some Christian thing and I bumped into it and it shattered. I think maybe that's why my life is suffering. I think this is the right place. There's pretty much every kind of doll you could imagine here, including Transformer figures. And remember, only G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe. That should make the choice much simpler. Could you please pick one for me, Hisao? I had a feeling that it would come to this. I picture Hanako in my mind and tried to imagine which of the dolls before me would suit her the best. My eyes wander across the collection. Each one is as exquisite as the one before it. The sheer number of styles is boggling, but eventually one catches my eye. Here, what about this one? I pick up a small porcelain doll that looks to be at least somewhat affordable. Dressed in a Victorian-era green dress with a little brown hat sitting atop its blonde hair, it looks a little like Lily. I gently pass it to her, who delicately feels her way around the object while wearing a look of slight concentration. It certainly feels beautiful. Do you think it would suit Hanako, in your opinion? I think it would. It could look good in her room. In that case, I'll trust your judgment. Will you be getting her something as well, or shall this be a shared gift? I'm not sure. I think I should get her something myself, but I don't think getting her another doll is such a great idea. Yep, maybe. I let my voice trail off as I look around the shop. Resting on a writing table not far from us is a decorative box that catches my eye. Wait here, I think I found something. My, that was fast. Almost like you didn't put much thought into it, Hisao. I gingerly walk through a collection of crystal glassware and pick up the box. The wooden sides are covered in carvings depicting ancient battles around a castle. It's a little bit of that Crusaders King 2 after-action report. The top, however, looks far too familiar. Alternate squares of white and black varnished wood are arranged on the lid. Oh boy. That's a really nice item. It's a chess set from overseas. The store owner's sudden appearance startles me a little. I didn't see him approaching at all. I suppose he's trying to help us because we don't really look like we know what we're looking for. Or, on the other hand, maybe he wants to keep an eye on us because he suspects we might shoplift instead. I'm looking for a present for a friend. I see. In that case, this chess set would make a fine choice. Oh, Hanako loves chess. That's actually good. Realization floods into my mind. This is a pretty good looking set, but this is an antique shop. They're not well known for their bargain prices. Yeah, that's true. How old is this? This is a reproduction. My best estimate is that it's about 5 years old. I see. How much? I too am 5 years old. I'm just Benjamin Button. Okay. He thinks a little before telling me, which is slightly disconcerting. Yeah, yeah. It's the merchant from Resident Evil 4. I'll let you take this now for 7,000 yen. I balk a little. I wasn't expecting to spend that much. Really? Yeah, that's a bit much. But this does seem perfect. Then again, maybe that's a testament to how well he worked out how much he could make me pay. Yeah. Couldn't make it 50,000? No, 5,000? 5,500, no lower. Take it. Yeah, I'm sold. Oh, we'd also like to get that doll. The store owner looks over my shoulder, focusing on Lily and the doll in her hands. His eyes narrow, and he visibly takes a moment to switch mental gears. In the process, his smile drops slightly. I guess that means that not everything in his store is a reproduction. This was made during the Russian Revolution. It was the last doll of the Princess Anastasia before the communists took over. Are you quite sure that you want that doll, miss? I trust my friend's judgment. Time has not been nice to him. Yep. I see. Oh, no offense. You're blind. My prices can't even rob you blind because you're already blind. On that note, I'm gonna get more water. So I'll be back real quick after the worst joke in the history of mankind. Alright. Lamau, coward, face your April Fools like a man. Oh wow, what a professional intermission card. When are you doing commissions? I try. I still need to hone my skills a bit to make it look even more like it was made in MS Paint. So about 2 years. Alright. None taken. If you could please wrap it for me, it would be appreciated. Yes, of course, but it's... Oh, Jesus Christ. It's 20,000 yen. Oh, God. Lily reaches into her purse and presents four crisp-looking 5,000 yen notes. How can she tell which one's which? Okay. Here you are, 20,000 yen. The storekeep dutifully takes them and the doll, and proceeds to the counter. I take Lily's arm to guide her there. Are you sure about this? It's okay. I have the funds I need. As I said, I trust your judgment. If you mess this up, Hisao, you're gonna owe me 20,000 yen. I feel a little guilty. Lily is loaded, yeah. I feel a little guilty on two fronts. Firstly, because Lily has just spent a lot of money on my recommendation, and secondly, because I have a feeling the value of my gift isn't high enough. Nevertheless, Lily does seem to get somewhat awkward whenever the mention of money comes about. I hand the shopkeeper my present. I hand the shopkeeper my present and the money for it in turn. He puts the cash into the register before busying himself with wrapping the doll and repeating the process on the chessboard. Eventually, he finishes the gift wrapping and hands us both our presents. That's like yeah, that's expensive. Please be careful on your way back, and do come again. Thanks. Indeed, thank you very much. The store owner bows deeply to us as we leave. Oh, it did take us all day, but we found something in the end. That we did. Now that the presents are wrapped... that's just narration. Now that the presents are wrapped, I'm feeling a little impatient. It's like 1,000,000 Vietnamese dongs. Right. Now that the presents are wrapped, I'm feeling a little impatient to give them to Hanako. It's a common reaction to buying gifts, wanting to see the reaction of the receiver as I discover what it is. And part of me wants to return to Hanako just to confirm her condition with my own eyes. So, should we head back? Let's. We've done a lot of walking today, so I shan't... Oh boy, she says shan't. So I shan't mind taking a rest back at the dormitories. Lily is right. Now that the need to find a shop is over, my legs are feeling quite tired. Well then, back to the school for us. I'm looking forward to resting for a bit too. Lily holds out her arm, and I link mine with hers. Together, we make our way back to the bus stop. Mutolo reads equations and formulas to us one by one in his usual unenthusiastic monotone, directly from the book. It's possible that he might be a bit excited about what he teaches us. Sometimes he can display an awkward spark of passion for it, as if he's starting to get into the material. Most days, however, are like this one. That's sort of my science professor now. What we're covering is fairly simple, so I find it increasingly difficult to keep my concentration on him. It's not too long until my legs begin aching again, which only makes it even harder. I'm almost starting to regret walking around. You guys can read. What am I even here for? Since leaving the hospital, I've done very little physical exertion. Walking to and from the local corner store hardly counts. Despite Emi's attempt when I first arrived in Yamaku, I've largely given up on the idea of ever returning to my old level of fitness. I have little doubt that's why walking around town for so many hours has made me quite sore. It's depressing, and it reminds me of one more thing I can't do since I've had my heart attack. It makes me feel pathetic. I forgot what Mutolo's voice is. Lily can't read. Okay. I always forget what voice I give Mutolo. And I'm sure it's not going to help my voice. Now, Ikazawa. Jump up. It's odd for Mutolo to ask Hanako a question, but not unheard of. She quickly jumps to her feet, a little startled, and immediately pins her eyes onto him. She knows that Mutolo calling on her is rare, so all eyes in the classroom are going to be on her. This way, she doesn't run the risk of making eye contact with anyone else. Yes? In this particular example of a redox reaction, the combustion of methane reaction actually produces one more product than it is listed. That product is... Even though it's a softball question, I don't know this, I'm not a science dude. She timidly waits a bit before answering, biting down slightly on her lower lip as if to keep her concentration. Heat? Well done. This is an exothermic reaction, with the reaction giving more heat than is put into it. And so she fades out of existence. Receiving a nod from Muto, Hanako takes her seat once again and gives a relieved sigh. A shaky start, but it's something. It'll be nice to take her out for her birthday, somewhere different than the usual isolation of her room and the tea room. With the progress she's made until now, I don't think she'll have much of a problem going into the city. Right then, for the remainder of this class, I'd like you to work in groups of 3 or 4 on the problems in Chapter 12. I'll be here if you need me. Hanako knows a thing or two about Jesus Christ. True? Okay. Muto sits down behind his desk, pulls some loose sheets out of a folder, and starts on some kind of paperwork of his own. I thought teachers were supposed to do that kind of thing after class, not during it. Not gonna lie, when I'm a teacher, if I can assign independent work while I get to do my job that I would have done at home, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be a lazy teacher. Oh no. Regardless, I look to my right to pick out someone to form a group with. Given the 2 smiling faces hovering near mine, I don't think I'm going to get much a say in the matter. I suppose we have a group then. Oh, God, Jesus, no. Let's try it.
Hee-chan, you want to work together? Okay, that's great. It's really been a while.
The class begins, the process of noisily shuffling the desks around, with Shizune doing the same as she puts hers in front of mine. She is a little lucky to not be able to hear the din of the classroom, which is loud enough to cause some discomfort. Truth be told, working with Shizune and Misha is probably a good outcome. Shizune and I are pretty good at this subject, and Misha has really nice handwriting. That's it. Oh, is that Hanako? As I look to Misha, I notice a tall figure behind her. The shadow catches Misha's attention as well, and she turns to face the dark-haired observer. Oh no, it's Batman meeting Harvey Dent?
Good afternoon, Hanako.
Hello. My voice, switching from what I do for Misha and switching immediately to Hanako, is just odd. No one should go through this. Going from that's gotta feel good. I can feel my throat burning. Shizune finally notices Hanako after looking up and following the gazes of Misha and I. In quick measure, she taps Misha on the shoulder to get her attention before starting away. ...
Shi-chan says if you're looking for a group, you can join ours.
Hanako looks down and blushes a little at the offer. Out of all the people in the class, Hanako is most familiar with the 3 of us, so it's reasonable that she'd come to us first. Then again, her actually coming up to a group with the intention of joining them is something she apparently very rarely did before. That's really, whenever my person say, okay, you gotta get in a group, usually I just look around desperately, because I don't have any friends, in any of my classes. So I usually just look around, and so that everyone's already in groups, and so I usually just sit there and try to not be noticed throughout the whole class time, so I don't get, scolded for not going to a group and participating. It's a sad life being a Primus. She leaves briefly to drag her desk over, and Shizune and Misha wheel back to me as soon as her back is turned. ...
I guess we get to play again, Hee-chan. You hardly ever play with us anymore.
I wonder why. You 2 always seem to have some ulterior motive. Or, Shizune, I'm sorry. We had our... I played through your route off camera when I first got this game. It's for the stream. I have to see something new. I gotta be with Hanako. Hanako is my wife now. Shizune, you gotta... Yeah, is that alright? Alright. ...
That hurt, Hee-chan. I almost think you were insulting me. But it's Hee-chan, so I know you're joking.
such a great sense of humor about it. It'd be awful for someone to ever take advantage of your good nature, like making you help them with their work. ...
Wahahaha.
I shared almost all my classes with my sister, so I could cling to her. Oh boy, that sounds interesting. My sister's, like, she's in high school, so we haven't been in the same school since middle school. We've always been, like, one grade apart until we were into the same school. Like, when I graduated high school, she graduated middle school. Shizune seems excited for a second, a little surprised that I'm willing to challenge her, but when she sees Hanako coming back, she backs off with a smile. I guess the mind games are over early today. Just wedges in there. Hanako gently sets down her desk in front of Misha's. Her eyes are locked downwards, and I'm left wondering why until I look around the class. Most are busy setting up their own groups, but few are casting curious glances at her. At this range, it's hard to tell whether that's where their interest in her ends or if they are talking about her as well. Aw, man, it's strange. No one bats an eyelid when Hanako runs out of the class to avoid group work, but now that she's making an effort, they're staring at her as if she's done something wrong. That ain't right. We all move to sort ourselves out, spreading our textbooks and worksheets around the larger surface created by the 4 joined desks. It isn't long before the class as a whole gets down to work.
Hi, Hanako. It's nice to finally work with you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. ...
Are you the reason Hee-chan has been avoiding us lately? Shi-chan says it's a little rude, but if Hee-chan wants to spend time with a cute girl, it's understandable.
I don't think it's that, like that. Hanako starts to fidget, unused to this kind of attention. I think that an ordinary person would drop the conversation by now, but Misha is like the antithesis of Hanako. Part of that includes being blind to ordinary social cues, while Hanako is overly sensitive to them. Meanwhile, Lily is actually blind. Because of that, Misha barrels ahead with the questions, too quickly for me to get a chance to interject and guide the discussion somewhere more comfortable.
Really? So, he wasn't hanging out with you yesterday?
No. I can feel my cover being blown already. Lily didn't want Hanako to know that we were out buying presents for her, let alone planning out her birthday party. It wouldn't be good for her to find out. Oh boy. Yeah, I was doing something else. You know how it is. ...
Really? I wonder what was so important for Hee-chan to blow us off like that. If it really wasn't to spend time with Hanako, then what could it be? It's really interesting.
Misha's voice is also the antithesis of Hanako's. That's true. That's very true. Now this is starting to feel like an interrogation. I'm surprised at how Misha is able to exert such a feeling of pressure without actually intending to. Were you with Lily? Out of nowhere, Hanako manages to stumble on the answer. She may be dreadfully quiet and shy, but she's very intuitive. What makes you say that? Yesterday, Lily said something similar. Oh boy. ...
Suspicious. Hee-chan, I demand you explain yourself.
Hey, shouldn't we be doing the assignment?
But it's so mysterious. Even Hanako wants to know.
I turn and look at Hanako. It's true, from the expression on her face, it's obvious that she wants to know as well, and I think we're past the point where I could weasel out of having to provide an explanation. I apologize to Lily in my mind. She really did want to keep it a secret, but now it doesn't seem possible anymore. I feel a rush of conflicting emotions so jumbled that I can't really identify them, but they crush around in my head as I try to calm down and speak. Oh boy. Alright, I'll tell you. I went to town with Lily, but it wasn't what you think. Lily and I were, for Hanako's birthday... Aw, you're spoiling the surprise, Isao. For Hanako's birthday, we were... The cat's out of the bag, but it looks like Hanako's taking it a little better than I thought she would. Yeah, with the face of depression. A brief silence passes around our little group as Hizune and Misha look at each other sheepishly. I can tell that they didn't expect their game to turn out like this. Misha looks up to Hanako in order to apologize, then pauses. Hanako is staring at the middle of her desk and barely moving. Maudlin expression on her face. I guess I was wrong about her taking it well. Yeah, I'd say.
Hanako, I'm sorry.
There's a few seconds pause, but Hanako lifts and shakes her head. It's okay. Her expression looks odd, like she's very tired. That doesn't seem natural, but it's nothing alarming. Nobody really wants to continue the current conversation, so we open our textbooks and begin our group work. It's pretty dull. While the equations we're supposed to work out as a group will take a while, most of it's going to be boringly mechanical. It also doesn't help that while that didn't go as bad as it could have, it has left an awkward atmosphere around us. Still, we manage. Oh, we have the... How would you describe this? The ominous soundtrack. Shizune's face betrays that she has about the same expectation of our work as I do, and the two of us begin to write our group's results. Misha, on the other hand, is scrunching up her lips and very visibly trying to make heads or tails of what we're doing. Hanako is looking on quietly, absorbing what we write and what I say. She usually has the same expression when the teacher speaks. It's a shame her attendance is so unreliable. With the way she takes in information, I think she'd do quite well in the class, if she actually followed the lessons regularly. Regularly. There we go. I wonder if this might be why Shizune seems so hard on her.
Hey, Hanako, do you understand this?
Misha's voice sometimes just gradually turns into Muto's voice. I'm not getting the right deep tone. Misha looks to Hanako, but I suspect that her hope is more to find a comrade in ignorance rather than genuine help. Not really, I guess. I'm surprised by how tense she is in answering, but she settles back down. She breathes out, and the way her upper body and head lower remind me of a deflating balloon. You okay? I could go over this bit if you want. Hanako shakes her head slightly, but then again, I don't think she needs the extra explanation despite what she said. Misha quickly interjects, entirely oblivious, and I end up slowly going through how we ended up at one of our results step by step. Times like this reminds me that this kind of work may not be mechanical for everyone, but rather feels that way to me due to my grasp of the subject. It's a satisfying feeling. As Misha, you probably feel good knowing that you're better than everyone else. As Misha brings her bald fist onto an open hand in realization, I discover another nice feeling. My explanation got through to her, and she manages to work out the next equation by herself with a minimum of guidance. Yeah, that's good. Throughout all of this, Hanako is unusually unresponsive. She is normally very quiet, but one can still see her eyes moving periodically over the landscape of the classroom in front of her, or anxiously moving her hand in some way, or shifting her shoulders periodically. Right now, these small movements that I've gotten used to seeing are all missing. Someone not moving at all is definitely weird. Even Misha can tell there's something wrong.
Hanako, are you sure you're okay?
Yes. Are you sure? I'm fine. Okay, swarming someone with "are you okays" isn't necessarily the best thing. A little more strongly this time, but she turns away as she says it. It only makes me doubt her answer, yet at the same time, I can tell she doesn't want to talk about it further. Having already had one very awkward conversation today that I'm not still fully over, I don't want to pursue the matter too much either. We settle back into our routine, debating over our answers, whenever a doubt comes up, but as time goes on, I notice that Hanako isn't talking at all. It's frustrating. She had made so much progress. Yeah. It makes me a little angry at Shizune and Misha for undoing the surprise Lily had wanted to keep secret so much. I know I'm at fault too. Maybe I could have kept it under wraps somehow. I don't know, Hisao. You were under a pretty tense situation. Shizune has noticed Hanako's silence as well, which might be a little hard for a deaf person. I can see it on her face. It's strange that even though she's deaf, Shizune has perceived Hanako's unusual quietness sooner than Misha. Yeah. ...
Hanako, you're being too quiet. You have to contribute too. Someday...
Jesus Christ, I spit all over the screen. Classy.
Someday we might work on a bigger project, like one that is so big it's worth celebrating afterwards, like with ice cream or cake.
Yeah,
if you act like this, we won't take you along.
Oh, savage. I can tell that they're trying to tease her to bring her out of her shell, but I don't think that kind of approach will work on Hanako. It will just make her feel worse. Yeah, really. Guys, don't tease her like that. ...
Hey-chan, it's all in good fun. Shi-chan says she teases everyone anyway.
They do back off, though, with Misha moving away from the issue by asking me a question again. On seeing how difficult the problem she is working on is, I don't know whether it was a skillful dodge or merely coincidence. It takes way more of our time than necessary because Shizune keeps disagreeing with me, while I'm trying to explain it to Misha, and Misha is quick to believe her over me. So quick, in fact, that she forgets to translate what Shizune is saying. Hey, that clock is kind of ticking down. The clock is kind of ticking down. We should speed up a little.
Hey-chan, you sound a little like Shi-chan
there. Just because I looked at my watch? Geez, is that really all it takes? Time management, and suddenly I'm the student council president? Oh. We got a CG. I look at Hanako's desk to see how she's doing and freeze. Our papers are covered in equations, but Hanako's only halfway there. It seems she hasn't written anything in the past 20 minutes. Oh, dear. Oh, let me get my face out of the way. Yeah, that works. I'll just be over here, guys. Just my face in the corner. When I realized that, I wanted to kick myself for how dumb I've been. I should have known that someone as fragile as Hanako wasn't just going to brush off what happened so easily, but I've been too eager to move on from an awkward situation to notice. She has been slowly shutting down for the last half hour, and I had no clue. Her pen is still in her hand, but she doesn't slowly spin it around like she usually does. There isn't a single idle movement from Hanako. Only the fact that she tries to inch away once she feels Shizune, Misha, and me looking at her tells me that she is even still conscious. We look away, and at least in my case, it's partially out of shame that it's gotten to this point. Though on the outside she has shut down almost completely, I know that it's a different story on the inside. What kind of things could she be thinking about that as she tries harder and harder to shrink into herself, as if by willing it she could somehow disappear? Everyone is looking at her now, stealing quick glances in between putting the finishing touches on their work. Misha attempts to ask her what's wrong, but that only makes the problem worse. If she weren't frozen to her seat, she would probably run out of the room right now. Misha's questions are loud enough to be heard throughout the entire classroom, and for a second I'm ready to snap at her because I can only imagine how much worse it's making Hanako feel. Yeah, really. Of course, if I were able to do that, it would only make the situation worse, yeah. I believed that Hanako had gotten stronger, and she has, but it wasn't enough, and I was too eager to believe it. Now she's terrified, alone, in the middle of the classroom, and there's nothing I can do without drawing more attention to her. It's infuriating. Misha's worried, and even Shizune is biting her lip. None of us know how to deal with this situation, so I decided to call Muto. His judgment would probably be better than ours. I look up and manage to catch his eye, silently motioning for him to come over. I want to make as little a fuss about this as possible, since if there's anything that would make this worse, it's more attention being focused on her. I know that Hanako can see everyone staring at our group, specifically at her, because they know that if there's a problem, it has to be her. Ah, she's crying. Oh, everyone knows her, and it's the first thing anyone's mind would leap to. Her reputation for being truant has marked her as an unusual person, even an unusual Yamaku. Who knows how many times they have stared at her before. Maybe it's because she's seen the class staring at her so much that she fears their gazes like she does, cowering from them. The time it takes Muto to walk over must be like an eternity to Hanako, and she looks as if she's about to fall over. Muto quietly begins to ask us what's wrong before catching himself as he sees Hanako.
Did we upset her?
Oh god, don't worry. Doing their two voices is terrible. Muto bends down after calming Misha and looks intently at Hanako's face.
Hi, Ikezawa. Can I help you at all?
His voice is hushed and gentle. Everyone's acting so differently around Hanako now that the whole class has noticed something's wrong with her. Hanako doesn't respond, so Muto gently rests a hand on her shoulder. Aw, man. This is making me feel bad. She starts shaking at his touch, but won't even look up. Hanako continues to stare into the equations on her desk, vision so unfocused that I doubt she even sees them. She is worse than before. I remember not even an hour ago she was able to talk to him almost normally. Muto grimaces a bit as he stands again, and now that his expression's changed, I can see he wasn't exactly unaffected by what happened either. He takes a breath to settle himself before speaking in a very quiet voice. I'm a little impressed at how quickly he takes control of the situation. Is that it? Nothing's wrong then? Muto seems to say that to no one in particular. However, his words sound convincing enough that most people who are looking over at Hanako now turn away, getting back to their work. I doubt that would really work. This is a real April Fool's downer. Yeah, really. Man. Most people are trying to get back to their work. He gives a quick glance to his left and right. Several people at the desks around us are still staring curiously, but other than that, we seem to have escaped attracting too much attention. Muto notices me doing the same as him and smiles a little, in his unusual stilted way. I think, for Ikazawa's sake, that it would be good to quickly take her somewhere away from others. That's true. Nakai, Hakamichi, could you please take Ikazawa out of the classroom? I'll keep everyone settled, so please don't worry about anything but her, okay? He looks at Misha to tell her to interpret his words for Shizune, but she's already finishing her translation by the time he does so. It's remarkable how little thought she needs to sign, as she still looks quite dazed otherwise. Nodding, Shizune and I stand to move to either side of Hanako. Muto steps back to allow us some room, and talks to the table behind us, as some people there have begun to mutter between themselves about what's going on. We look at each other before lowering ourselves in unison, taking one arm around each of our shoulders and lifting. The two of us begin to walk at a slow pace, to make sure we don't inadvertently hurt her. As much as we try to make this look normal, I'm quite sure there would be many more gazes on us if not for Muto's distraction. I still think, 4 people, 1, 2, 3, 4 people getting up from one desk and leaving. That's also attention getting. Eventually, thankfully, we reach the door and go through. Nobody's outside, so we walk down the hallway, and it doesn't seem like it's making her more at ease than she was in the classroom. Finally, I ask if she wants to just sit down. For a while, we simply stay in place and wait for her to say something. Shizune attentively rubs Hanako's shoulder a little, but there's no response. Eventually, she shakes her head a little when Shizune tries again. Both of us are looking at her, so we pick up on it immediately. Shizune's hand comes to rest on Hanako's shoulder as she awakens. Her face lifting, 2 very worried and anxious people looking at her. She looks at us silently for a while. I'm initially worried she might freak out or do something extreme, but those fears prove unwarranted as her expression slowly changes from an almost lifeless blank state to a more normal, withdrawn shyness. She wordlessly lowers her head, her eyes evasively moving to the side. She looks embarrassed, almost ashamed. I want to say something, anything, to help. I can't, though. I don't really know what just happened or even what caused it. I feel helpless and ashamed of myself for not being of any use. Shizune sighs before looking at me. Even without words, I think I can tell what she's asking. I'll take Hanako to the nurse. Is that okay by you? Oh, the nurse. I love that German accent I give the nurse. I try to communicate my intentions through hand gestures, but I don't feel like I managed to get through to her very well. Shizune makes a dreary face in response to my gesticulations, confirming my impression. Yeah, I don't think that really works. She stabs her finger in the air decisively, first at me, then at Hanako, and then towards the stairs. She waits for me to nod before pointing at herself, then pointing at the door to the classroom. I get the feeling Shizune is much better at this than I am. I nod at her, since her plan is, after all, the same as mine. Shizune gets ready to make her exit, but only leaves after looking at Hanako for quite some time. Are you okay with me taking you to the nurse's office? Hanako doesn't say anything or nod, but she stands up in place by herself, and when I begin to walk, she obediently follows. I've read about people being katatane before, but I think this time I'm seeing it for myself. She looks extremely tired. After everything that's happened, it's not a surprise. After Hanako silently... Wow, these are old technology. Look at that computer. I wonder if you can run, Crysis on that. After Hanako silently takes off her shoes and lies on the bed in the infirmary, the nurse and I take our leave. He shuts the curtain behind... Oh, we have the emotional music. He shuts the curtain behind us. We both take a seat and I quietly, thoroughly go through everything that's happened in quite some detail. I want to understand what happened, and the nurse has as good a chance as anyone of knowing. He nods throughout my explanation, his face looking troubled as I finish. It must have been very troubling for you to have seen all this. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. I can move my face now. There we go. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either? Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume you've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point. This is a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm going to put this pretty bluntly. This is a matter for Ikazawa and me and her therapist. I move to protest, but I think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. It's all good. Good. I wish I could help you more, but I think that... but I think what Ikazawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well in bringing her here. Sounds like you and your friends dealt with the situation well, too. I give you a lollipop or sticker as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten up the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be let back into her dormitory room for this evening, so you could visit her then. I agree with him before standing. It feels like all I can ever do around the nurse is humbly agree to what he says, but it was the same with the doctors in the hospital, too. I like the nurse character. There's not enough nurse, because I love doing his voice. There are characters I absolutely hate doing their voice, and there are characters I absolutely love doing their voice, and the nurse is one of them. I love doing his voice. Hanako's, I hate doing. Misha's, hate. I'm actually fine with Muto, but Yuko is good, too. I walk back to the classroom. The walk back to the classroom is a long one. My mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. I still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Muto raises his eyebrows to get my attention when I pass by his desk.
Nakai, I take it Ikazawa's in the infirmary now?
Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Muto nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from his desk.
Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please.
His speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. Yep. As we go into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Muto to speak. By the way, I learned that if you're going to make a school or any institution for people who are deaf or blind, then it's best to have curved walls. You don't want like straight walls with corners, because you never know when you're going to bump into one of those. The hallway, blah blah blah.
Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is?
To cater to the needs of disabled students, except when you have walls that have edges, but okay. Muto scratches his head as he shakes it.
No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. 1 floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Look around, Nakai. This school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education.
Huh?
Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we'd put in this much effort?
Huh. The bluntness of Muto's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No.
That's right. We want you to all leave here as useful members of society.
I'm not quite sure I'm following you.
I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You're possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting. Oh, whoops. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that?
I can't say I have.
Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is.
There's no future. I can't say that I put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily questioning me about the same subject. It's only been a little over 5 months since I was grasping for air on the ground. It's too much to be thinking about the future, and besides, Hanako's problems seem much bigger to me right now. Mutol gives a disapproving sigh before continuing.
Think of this place as an opportunity. Here you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. You should be doing nothing but thinking of the future.
Right. As I raise my head to meet his gaze, a thought occurs to me. It's almost like Mutol totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips class? I've seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something?
Well, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have the school here. For example, I wouldn't keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I?
But that's not... Mutol cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence.
Ikazawa's case is very much like that. But instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave the classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough?
I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find fault in his argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly physiological. There we go. Its worst effects have been on her psyche. It still puts me off, though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? Surely she can't go like this for her entire life. That's true.
I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to get used to this school. If you keep your head down, I'm sure you'll do well enough in your exams.
I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to this school, but it feels like I've just been thrown back in my face. But what about Hanako?
I hope that she'll perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. Like you, Hisao, you freaking slacker.
He takes care to emphasize the last word as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and he gives me a moment to mull his words over. Yep.
Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'll be able to concentrate much anyway after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing.
He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now.
Go collect your things, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Right, thank you. Mutol's roundabout speech has left my thoughts scattered, and I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako. If anything, my mind is still all the more confused after what Mutol said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself, but I don't know whether that is just male bravado or just a genuine concern. While I collect Hanako's and my things from the class, I continue to try to sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her and that I'm there for her, but while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. Blindfold transition. I lay on my bed trying to collect my thoughts. Oh boy. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share, and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with the 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tells me that she was in one for a lot longer than I was. Be that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. And what of her family? I still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes, and ambitions. Not even her taste in music, food, and movies. All the little things that I knew about all my old friends. Just what have I been doing for all this time? I've been with her and Lily. Oh boy. In the distance, I hear bells signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around, and return to the dormitories. Oh boy. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me, as I've rarely been called since coming to Yamaku. Hello, Hisao Nakai speaking. I didn't even check who it was. Oh, Hisao, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. How did you dial me? I don't know. You can't see the numbers. Did I give you your phone number? Then how did you scroll through your contact? Okay. I probably should have guessed it. It would be Lily, as she is one of the few people I've given my number to. Oh, okay. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. I guess there are some rare things. That's a nice phone right there. I mean, yeah, it's nicer than mine. Hanako and I left class early. She had some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good. I also have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. Oh? It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. Alright, I think we're going to leave for the rest. We're going to leave off here. That's the word I'm looking for. So, Katawa Shoujo is going to be a stream series from now on. I'm going to try to see if I can upload it to my second channel. I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't know if you can set Twitch to upload videos to another channel. I hope so. Let's hope so. But, yeah. So, I thank each and every one of you for coming out here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we're gonna end it off here. So here comes the awkward part. Let me save first. Save. Create new save. Continue. Turn. And yeah, we're gonna end it off here. So here comes the awkward part where I look at OBS and try to stop this. Boom.